10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
And welcome to SEGA Live. I'm Lee Kraft, a.k.a. the Monday Morning Racer. Over there is Mr. Dugenet Bland. Right now, we don't have David Lancaster on the show. He might be able to pop in later on in the show. Certainly, we'll hope we do get him later on. And as a guest, first-time winner, rookie in the Southeast Gases Association, Barry Adler, picking up the win in A-Gas back at the Southern Nationals at Brainerd Motorsports Park. That was a big win, Dugenet.
Huge. It really is special because all the hard work they've been putting in up to this point. You know what I mean? Trying to figure the car out. Hadn't had many laps in the car. Really started to get the car going well, and man, they put it all together. I have to say, I was fist pumping when he went through. I was so excited for that team. They've worked really hard, and it all came to a head right there at Brainerd Motorsports Park.
It did, and performance-wise, when you look at what Barry has been able to pick up, you see what Chase Howard is doing and other competitors. You know, Leslie Horn right now doesn't seem to be, even though he's defending champion, the top A-Gas car. We definitely have a multi-horse race down to, I think, the championship at this point. Chase Howard is certainly due a win with already a win and 2 more final rounds, and you have many others stepping up and capable of winning. So A-Gas, highly competitive right now, and I think we are all wondering, after Barry's performance at Knoxville, being quicker and faster, though in a losing effort against Leslie Horn, and then coming out and nabbing a win, his first win at Brainerd Motorsports Park, that can that performance carry on? And if it does carry on, how he'll shake things up in the championship standings.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's top 5. So 100 points. He's only 30 points back out of first, and it's a tie for first there between Leslie and Chase Howard. So definitely going to make things interesting here. And you know what they say, pressure busts pipes. And right now, Barry has put a little pressure on the field.
Yes, he has. We've got a good race in A-Gas in particular and beyond. I know we're talking about A-Gas, but we've got the A-Gas winner from the last event on the Southern Nationals presented by Harbin's Mechanical Services, that being Barry Adler, who also is a supporter of the Southeast Gassers Association, and thankful to him for that. QuickTime Performance, his company. We'll hear a word from QuickTime Performance in just a few moments, but they stepped up, and in particular, they are the left lane sponsor, and was glad on the live stream this last race to be able to pop that up per winner of the Reese Motorsports right lane or the QuickTime Performance left lane, and people be able to see that. Definitely want to try to take care of our marketing partners, and Barry is one of those, even being also, though, a competitor in the A-Gas category. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break, and then we'll get this rookie, first-time winner in the Southeast Gassers Association in A-Gas, driver of the Iron Eagle, certainly no plastic pigeon. That's Barry Adler next.
Here at QuickTime Performance, we give you what you need to put some attitude in your truck. Why settle for the same dull, boring commute that everyone else subscribes to? Life is too short to be stuck in a bland appliance every day. Grab a set of QuickTime electric cutouts and say goodbye to ordinary.
Well, he certainly isn't ordinary. That's Barry Adler. Welcome to SEGA Live, Barry.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here.
Well, we're glad to have you. We're glad it's under the circumstances of not just talking to you as a marketing partner with SEGA, but a winner in the Southeast Gassers Association. Very simply, very blandly, well, not bland in the case of Mr. Dugenay Bland, but your thoughts on this win in what is the premier gasser drag racing in the world currently?
Well, it was a shock to me. I was just, want to come out and play, like I said, play in the sandbox with everybody else. It's just, everyone's like, congratulations. Yes, I'm thankful. I'm glad I won. It's like still like hasn't sunk in yet. The competitors out there, everyone put everything on the line, like round 2 against Happy Days. And he knew we were like neck and neck when it comes to speed. So he came out hard and just jumped the gun on me. He would have probably beat me there. And same thing in the finals with Chase. He came out hard, probably tried to hit that second gear as fast as he could, and transmission broke. So, win's a win, but luck is luck. So I'll take what I can get. But just having fun, it's a team effort. Just having a good time.
Well, you do need a little luck in drag racing, but let's not get it twisted. I think a lot of people saw what was going on. They saw what happened. They've seen the car run. They know what they needed to do and that they were going to need to be at their best to beat you. That car's running quite well. And we talked a little bit before eliminations, and you felt pretty confident going in that, if everything could go the way that you needed to, that this car was very much capable of winning.
Yes, the car is definitely capable. It's all then on the driver. I'm still getting used to reaction times. I am not as good as others on the reaction time, even if I have the faster car. The last race before, Leslie beat me by 0.03. He had a better light. That's why he got the win. It's going to just take me some time to get to that. I'm just going into clear head, just calm the mind and do what I got to do. Do this, then this. Don't overthink it. Hit the gears. Hopefully the light comes on my side, and just, I'm like, I keep on saying this, having the fun. When it's not fun, it's not worth doing. Just enjoying it while I'm doing it.
It's a rule with Funny Car Chaos, Nitro Chaos. Chris Graves says the number one rule is have fun. And if we go out and drag race and we do not have fun, then we are certainly missing out on, I think the point of it. We should have fun at these events, though highly competitive. And you are injecting fun, whether it is the headgear that you had on this past race. I love the infusion of that and the theme, Iron Eagle, and even some lighthearted trash talking from time to time. I mean, it all makes it up. Yes.
No. Yeah, it's all in good fun. I like the trash talk. It makes it fun. We're in the car for 5 seconds. That's the race. To me, drag racing is a very small amount of time. We're there all day. We're in, 3 weeks between races. Smacking, looking for some chicken nuggets. Dipping sauce. It's just nonstop. Leslie comes over and says to me at the race, he goes, how much you pay for rent? I'm like, what are you talking about? He points to my new hood scoop. He goes, the apartment you have on the hood. And I'm like, oh my God. And that was good. Like, he calls me Plastic Pigeon. It's a good nickname. I'll take it. I'll give him props like that. But I want to, chicken, it's what's for dinner. That's who I want to do. I want to beat him. When you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Chase is a great competitor, great competitor. It's like, I can't even knock the guy, give him, some chops, because he's just like a calm, cool guy. Same thing with Ben, just calm. I give, some busting chops to Greg because he can give it right back. He's a character. Leslie's a character. I'm a character. It's like WWE kind of thing,
Yeah. Tell everybody about the help that you have. It's really cool that it's a family affair and everybody's out there to help and pitch in, and you guys are having fun doing it as a family. Kind of tell everybody about that dynamic that you have there.
So what we have is my wife, Jessie. She's the backup girl. She's the vice president of QuickTime Performance. So she's just not a pretty face. She actually helps run the company with me. Also in the crew, you see the one with the hat and the sleeves. That's my middle son. We call him Jack the Red. He's turning the wrenches, setting suspension up and stuff. The one over there on the left, that's Mike, one of my guys. He's my media guy of all places, but he also is turning wrenches, working on the car. And who we missed this weekend was my oldest son, Tyler. He's doing his 2 weeks training for ROTC. So when we were starting out in the beginning, Jesse and Jack were having a hard time getting me lined up, and they were all worried. I said, it's okay. It's okay. She's like, oh, maybe Mary Beth can do the backing up. And I'm like, no, we're going to do it. I said, we're going to win as a team or we're going to lose as a team. And we're having fun doing it. And we want to, like I keep on saying, fun. That's what it's about. You could see I'm a character, just being out there. We got some more fun stuff to do for next race.
Where did you pick up the headgear? Like, I'm sure it's from the motorcycle world, and I've seen other renditions. I didn't know they had an eagle head. That's pretty cool. Where did you get this thing?
I don't know where we got it from, but someone says, oh, by the way, take a look at this. So, I have to go and probably go buy a chicken for Leslie.
Leslie just needs to be in the whole chicken suit. He needs to do the Stroker Ace thing. And I'm still supposed to have a ride, in a chicken suit. We talked about that, many years back. But nonetheless, he needs to do the whole Stroker Ace thing and hold a bucket of chicken and go down in the chick magnet, because apparently the chick magnet is only fit for holding chicken right now instead of turning on wind lights and going faster and quicker than everybody.
Well, that wasn't a big priority for him because he lost by Greg, and he didn't seem too bad to lose it, because if you saw him in the staging lanes, he was sitting there eating ice cream, happy as can be. So, his trophy was eating ice cream in the staging lanes.
Hey. I don't think you can eat ice cream. Where's that come from?
Whatever he was doing with it, he was enjoying it. And I think he had 2 or 3 of them. So, he treated himself to the win on that.
Man, Brian might have to do some weight adjustment after 3 ice creams. Never know.
Yeah. Maybe that's what the field needs, though.
A little ice cream?
No, a little weight. Him getting a little weight. Well, you're headed to the next race. What exactly are you looking to work on and get better at coming into this next race to kind of give yourself, I'd say, a better chance to nab another win?
So you saw my ugly little hood scoop. We did some testing a couple of weeks ago with a carburetor scoop, which is not legal, but I wanted to do a test of theory before we did a whole design for the scoop. And it showed a, better mile an hour. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. We're going to try to make it prettier, but the airflow into the actual opening, we're going to probably tweak that up a little bit. We just pulled the clutch and transmission out. We're using a McLeod soft lock. Just thing is a beast. It's taken everything we got at it. Just cleaned that up, did an oil change. Engine from Fulton Competition is great. And we're still learning this engine. It's a 451 big block, but it does not act like a big block. It acts like a small block. So it likes to come out hard, high rev, and I'm treating it like a small block. Like my Camaro over here, small block LS, 6500 dump, and banging gears with that. So, that's the reason, my transition to the Corvette, it has the same transmission that I got from Roby at G-Force, and it has the same McLeod soft lock. And this is not an easy thing to drive. It's very raw. So, everyone was surprised how I went from, A-gas and just getting down the track. It felt very similar to me, comfortable, a little more cramped in the Corvette, but it's just a really built car. I'm not going to take that we did that, but we're still learning suspension on it. We're tweaking it. Jack is doing some tweaks on the horizontal booster and adjusted the alluvial dampener with the hydro spanner. And then Mike has tuned the negative power coupling. So we're close to making the Kessel run in under 12 parsecs.
Y'all are getting there for sure. Might even get to that record before the Joker does. Never know out there in SEGA realm. So, wow. Barry, bring us up to speed. You mentioned, the car behind you, that Camaro, and your time in it. How do you gravitate in your life towards drag racing to now drag racing yourself and supporting drag racing? What was the bug of drag racing that bit you?
Speed, G-force, and just motorsports. But if you haven't noticed, I don't have much of attention span, ADHD. So quicker, faster, get in the car, get out of the car. It's probably where I like. I think my first words were car. My mom told me as a child, not mom, not dad, car. Just been a passion for racing. Always, I've been racing for 30 years now. When I had my Eagle Talon in 1995, then I bought this Camaro. I had a WRX. The wife drives a Trackhawk. So I was looking to get back into racing again. And then Leslie stumbles up into my warehouse and tells me about who he is. And, hey, you want to come play with the big boys? It wasn't a push hard. It was, I was looking for it.
Tell everybody a little bit about your company, what you guys do, and what you do. How does it help sometimes even you can use it for an everyday driver?
So we are QuickTime Performance QTP, almost 25 years old. We came out with the electric exhaust cutout, one of these guys over here, okay? Having a little fun, make it loud, make America loud again. What this is it's an electric cutout. Like back in the day, you would crawl underneath the car, uncap your exhaust. Well, I came up with this idea about 25 years ago, making electric, bolts on our standard 3-bolt flange, and it's been the bread and butter of the company. And, starting off like in a second bedroom in a basement, working my way up, warehouse, buying machineries, doing more and more myself, welding, bending, and it's just, become a whole entire business. We attend SEMA, we attend PRI, so it can go on any car or truck. Sizes 2.25, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 5, and low profile, and you can make the car louder with the flip of a switch. You can see there the electric cutouts in the upper left, and then we also have our Screamer Twintronic muffler, which is similar to the OEMs where they're valved. We've been doing it actually longer than most OEMs, so you can get yourself in a muscle car or a late model car. Mild to wild, quiet to riot. It's a nice sound, in the quiet side, and then you can go wide open for it. So if somebody likes the sound of a gasser, I can give you the sound of a gasser when you want to. So it's a passion. If you can see, this is not work for me. This is what I do. Doesn't make a difference how many hours there are. And then, going out racing, for work, it's the best job you can ever have. It's not a job.
Yeah, if you love what you're doing, it certainly doesn't feel like work while you are doing just that. The car that you're in, it is no stranger to SEGA and SEGA fans. What was the journey on picking up this hot rod and turning it into what we now understand as a winning SEGA A-gas machine dubbed the Iron Eagle?
So when Leslie came to me with his cousin Tim, told me about the race, and I was interested in racing, I was like, oh, maybe I'll get an old Plymouth and drop a Gen 3 in it because we also sponsor the Modern Hemi races. And he goes, no, you're going to come race with us, and we know a car for sale. And he brings me over to Mitch, and Mitch was selling the car for Dave, and that was a 477 mechanically injected car previously, but that wasn't coming with the car. It was just a roller. And I'm like, this is a really built car. I'm like, yeah, let me pick this up. And I wanted to do the journey. I'm an LS guy originally, so learning big blocks and carburetors were a little bit of a challenge. Got introduced to Gene. I bust his chops. He likes that. And we dropped the motor in, I think it was New Year's Day, and just little by little tweaking things, figuring things out, learning things. The engine was pretty much set up. We're told not to touch the engine, leave it alone. Designed headers for it and found out my header design didn't produce the horsepower I was expecting, because I thought smaller engine versus the 477s, the tri-Y design I wanted to do was about 80 horsepower or less. Live, learn, but so then I went back to a 4-to-1 and shorter than most headers that everybody else does. Got that there, and then, dive into deep end. I did one test session at Shady Side. Was the wrong gear ratio. Changed the gear ratio, went out to South Georgia, first passes. Something was a little off, found out the timing was like only 20 degrees, turned the timing up, and I came out and I ran a 530, but I guess living, learning, and not banging the rev limiter, I damaged the engine, but Gene rebuilt it in the week before the Shady Side race. Then we had the challenges of getting the car straight, setting it up. But right now, we still have not touched the potential of the suspension. It's coming out relatively soft, still got some more turns on the clutch to pull out of it. I want to come out even higher. My best 60 foot was a 119. And then learning the shift points. I'm enjoying the challenge. Maybe I'm enjoying it because we're seeing the results of it, but we're always playing around with it and taking it not so seriously. And I like to only do one adjustment if needed per race. I don't want to throw all the different adjustments because you don't know what works.
Well, Barry, just getting on here. First off, I want to congratulate you on your win.
Thank you, David.
I'm telling you, man, when we had our last live, that was one of the thoughts that I had before we got off the air, because I know that you've been tearing Greer Dragway up on Thursday nights, practicing, trying to get your car right, and it really paid off for you there for this win.
Well, Greer is like 40 minutes away. The prep, if I can do some numbers at Greer, I know we'll do better, at a SEGA race. They prep it a little bit differently. Just put a couple of passes in, as long as I don't hurt the motor again. I think I've only got 35 passes on this car. Definitely under 40, anyway between 30 and 40 passes. That is all I got for seat time. So, I guess I'm a quick learner.
Well, also, Barry, being down and viewing Quick Time Performance, as you took me through a tour of it last year, it was evident to me that you're very confident, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because I come from an athletic background, but I saw your operation. It's very clean, it's very efficient, and it's something that you can take pride in. And you have done that here in the Southeast Gassers. And I was thinking today before the show, I don't know of anyone who's come into the Southeast Gassers in their first year in a gas that has won an event. I could be wrong on that. I haven't looked through my notes, but I think that you are the first person to win an event in their first year of competition in A-gas.
I don't want to say I knew I was going to win, but I saw the progression with the car. If we kept on doing the numbers that we're doing and getting faster and tweaking, and as long as I got my reaction times down, I figured it would come one day. I didn't figure at the fourth race, but you guys were talking earlier about me being a spoiler for the points, because if I happen to go up against like a Chase or a Ben or a Leslie first round, and I could be the spoiler, like you were saying, and I have no problem with that.
Yeah, you don't have a problem with the spoiler role. In looking at the points now, you being top 5 right there in the 5th spot. Like I said, Chase and Leslie have 130 points. You have to be chomping at the bit to really get after it here in these next couple races, being so close to the number 1 spot, really. A couple of these guys falter early. You go rounds, and the next thing you know, you're sitting atop the heap here.
Yes, but there's only one problem. I cannot attend the last race. So the only way that I would possibly win this is if I had at least 40 points over second place, because the Shady Side race takes place when we are en route to Las Vegas for the SEMA show, which we are bringing the Corvette, and we're going to display it in our booth, showing off some product and ourselves and having a 60s theme. And I invited a lot of the SEGA guys, come out, I'll give you some passes, enjoy the show, and help promote SEGA to other manufacturers, to help bring them on board, to see that this is a special, race series. I see this growing. That's the reason why I'm in it. I'm liking it. The grassroots kind of thing. It's not too big, but the fans are there. Just the other day I was at a car show. We were talking to somebody. He's like, "Oh, you want to see my race car?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "All right, you want to see mine?" And I show him a picture, and he goes, "That was you?" He goes, "Congratulations." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So, I got my little, 15 minutes of fame, I guess. So it was, because you go out to lunch with Leslie. Hey, it's the chick magnet. It's the chick. Hey, okay.
Well, pretty soon they're going to be saying, "Hey, that's the Iron Eagle." And Randy Johnston, one of our YouTube viewers, was asking what the model year of your Corvette was. It is a 63 split window, and a car that I watched be built. And I'm gonna tell you what, they spared no expense in building that car, and basically took a car that could have been $100,000 show car and cut it up and made a drag car out of it.
But this was so I've got pictures from Dave. It was like brown and yellow. It's been a race car since 1967. So there was nothing much original with the car. So everyone's like, "I can't believe you did that to a 63. It was a 67 race car. Racing since 1967. It had multiple paint jobs, multiple engine combinations. I think it was in Canada, of all places. So don't feel bad. It looks good, about it. I realize the car is heavy, even though it's fiberglass. It's a plastic pigeon, but it's original fiberglass. Heavier than most other cars, like Chase's cars. He's got the same engine as me. He has the same weight. He's actually about 30, 40 pounds less than me. I'm still trying to drop weight out of this, and I don't know where to pull it from.
That's tough, I guess, to find that out, to figure all of that out, especially with weight. It's you kind of have to be strategic on where you pull that from and whatnot. So I'm sure that's going to be an ongoing process.
It's a learning thing, take a little here, when I was talking to Alan and Mike from Pittman and Sword, they also have the same engine as me, cubic inch, and they're the same weight. And he joked around, he goes, I spent more money in titanium to add lead. So if I really want to pull every bolt out and do titanium, maybe so, but maybe the car likes this weight because it's running some numbers, and we still got a little bit left in it, I think, in terms of suspension. Shifting better. There's no shift light. Someone says, what did you shift at? I don't know. The GoPro is what tells me. The GoPro is nice to see if you beat somebody too.
Definitely.
Barry, you talked about how you only like to make one change at a time. And in that, it also brings forth how that car performs with that extra 30 or 40 pounds. You're exactly right. Getting the lightest that you can get, it seems to be the smart thing to do, but it might actually hurt you in the performance of that chassis. So you never can tell.
Well, Gene said to me when he saw the car, and he's like, why is it so heavy? He goes, you got to drop 100 pounds. I'm like, 100 pounds? Where am I going to pull 100 pounds from? And he says, then you add it where you want, but that's a lot of time. We're still rookies. We're still playing with these things, talking to friends in the industry, other suspension manufacturers, tire manufacturers, talking to, McLeod helping me out with the clutches, Mickey Thompson, who happens to be a sponsor. I've been talking to them with the tires because I see them at the shows and all that kind of stuff. So just learning, tweaking, listening to people. Even though I'm a big talker, I do happen to listen. And just tweak a little here, tweak a little there. And, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You saw me at the first race. I blew my motor. I was still happy. Didn't care for the bill, but everyone's like, he ran 530 and he blew the motor. Yeah, but I was happy the car performed the number, first time out. So, and I'm interested in Gulfport being at a, cooler part of the year, 15 feet above sea level. So, we were running low 520s in 3,000 feet density altitude. We're, breathing through straws. Now, we can go to a track. Records, I see records happening, whether it's me, Leslie, Chase, Ben, and hell, even Greg. Greg wants it bad. So, it's, I think it's going to happen, but it would be nice for a car that happens to be at SEMA 2 weeks later, have the record, and I'm just saying a certain car.
Very well could be your car. And I think, look, I like Todd Oden's suggestion. You need to build a show car to go to SEMA, and then you can race your Iron Eagle at Shadyside and then do like a private flight out to Las Vegas or something. Or look, if you're in the points, buy a ride and send the real car out and stay in play somehow there at Shadyside.
I would love to do that, but the problem is we're already on a plane Saturday morning. And the show, I'll give you an example. The amount of work that SEMA does, no one sees it. It goes Tuesday to Friday. We are there Saturday morning, and it takes 3 days to set up the booth. The reason why we're bringing the cars, we're showing off some new product that the car is going to show off. And I'd like to be at both places. I really, really do. Even if I could race it and had another car out there, I would leave Sunday morning, half the crew would be here, half the crew there. It's like, winning would be great, showing it to the local fans, that would be great. But, we just got to tell SEGA, move it forward or move it back for me.
That's not going to happen. You're not.
Hey, come on, it can happen.
No,
well, I'm a sponsor. I can request it, but yeah. I don't. If they do it, that's great. If they don't, it's fine. I'm just one driver and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot to do to it. Maybe 1 year it can coordinate where I could, or I just have to win the 9 races beforehand and not worry about the 10th.
There you go. Now, Barry, this may have been asked when you first came on, and if you guys have already asked this and answered it, I do apologize, and you don't have to go over it again. But tell our fans how you first were introduced to the Southeast Gassers Association and what drove your passion to come in.
I did tell a little bit about it. Leslie's cousin Tim, I met getting my tires balanced at Bolt-On James, and he says, "Oh, I'm going to bring Leslie from some Southeast whatever," and we were just talking here in this showroom, and I was like, "I want to go back into racing," and he gave me the push, and it was not much of a push. I was looking to go racing again, and my boys are now old enough to wrench and one day take the wheel. So it was time. It was time to go back racing. This was about 8 or 9 years ago when the last time it raced. It's just not, I would race the Camaro now, but there's nothing race classes. I like heads up. And the thing is with heads up, it's either you're doing NHRA heads up, you're doing that X275, the Outlaw stuff, and that's extremely expensive. Not to say that A-Gas is a inexpensive form of racing, but you can do B and C, H, AFX, and Superstock. That you can do heads up, with the rules. Cars look awesome. You can relate to these cars. When you look at NHRA or like NASCAR, they like Top Fuel or even Pro Stock, it's a car, but it's not your car. It's not a Camaro. It's not a Mustang. It's not a Charger. It's a body with stickers on that. You can look at it. Ooh, I happen to like 63 Corvette, so I'm going to root for the Iron Eagle. I'm a Tri-5 fan, so I'm going to root for, Chick Magnet. I don't know why anybody would root for, an old Pontiac, but, that's.
Oh, love it. Love it.
You know what I mean? It's just like you could see the car, you can relate, like, hey, my dad had that, my uncle had that, my mom drove that. It's a car that you can relate to, like, so that's why I think the fan base is there. This is like, Monster Jam. In a sense, same kind of thing, the family thing, they all compete, but if one of those trucks break, everyone's helping along with that. There's many times where, hey, Barry, do you have this, that? And of course, it's like, you never seem to have enough tools on the truck, Yeah,
I find that to be important especially with drag racing. Now it's like these pro stock cars aren't really factory hot rods. So, it's kind of hard to relate to my Camaro if you got a Camaro versus that one. But when you're into old cars, you go to car shows and you like that. This is kind of a race, but it's also a car show because the cars are so awesome to look at and they're so relatable. It's something that somebody in the crowd has either has driven, their parents or someone had it, and it takes them back to a place in their lifetime.
And these cars are beautiful. Everybody does a great job with these cars, the paint jobs, the cartoon characters, the names, everybody puts a lot of work in it, from H, Superstock, AFX, C, B, and A. There's a car for everybody as long as it's 67 and older. The golden age of racing, before my time, but the paint jobs are cool. The girls, the backup girls, the way they dress, the classy aspect of it. Family fun is what it really is, and it's enjoying. Like, that's why last year I wasn't racing. I came to a lot of the races and watched it.
Barry, as we near closing out our time with you, again, congratulations on the win. Looking towards Jackson Dragway, the chances of the Iron Eagle soaring high once again, your thoughts on going to a new strip with this car?
Chances of me going high, I don't know about that. chances of me going low, smacking talk, busting Rocky's chops because he has to announce me as the winner at the drivers' meeting, very, very high. I'm just going to go out there and, make my 1 or 2 passes on Friday night, see how the car goes, and I got to work on my light. I'm trying to as every pass I make, I'm getting more and more calmer, getting the car staged up. I'm interested to see what this track can do. New fan base over there. It should be kind of interesting because now me coming in there winning, I think everybody else is going to want to tweak and not going to be just, the handful. And I hear Kenneth put the small block in. I don't know if I saw a video of that. I think he's trying, everybody's trying different.
He froze.
Uh-oh.
He froze.
Technical difficulties right here toward the end. It happens. Oh, he's back.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, did you hear me?
No, we cut you off there for a second.
Oh, so what did you hear so far?
Oh boy. It might be dangerous to tell him to start from the top.
No, I can start at any time you want. But, yeah, I think everybody's going to bring it. It's just going to be fun. It's a long ride, is what it is. I'm looking forward to Gulfport the most of all of them. It seems to be a fun time. Double points, a lot of things can happen at that race.
And also a great place to display the Iron Eagle if you could get a slot down there.
Yeah, I got to find out about that. We're probably going to leave Wednesday night to get down there. I'm just curious, when am I going to be on one of these posters?
Listen, you just 4 races in. I mean, Ben Christopher's been at this a while, and he's only had 1 maybe. Come on. You're coming in with your accent down to the south.
No. All right, I'll stop you right there. I'll explain this to you. This is not an accent.
No, that's real.
It is to us.
Here, I will. Hold on. This is a good one. All right. Where did your family come to the United States from?
No clue, dude. I don't do that.
Oh, well, probably from Ellis Island in New York, right?
You would assume.
You would assume. Why did you change the way you speak? Because all the idiots in New York and New Jersey, where I'm from, all speak like this, but everyone that left the area speaks differently.
Because we wanted to find a little more greener pastures.
Well, that's why I'm down here, but I still speak like an idiot.
Up there.
No, that's why I don't live there anymore. I'm down here in America, but I still talk like this. Sorry.
Hey, we still love you anyway, Barry Adler, and we love what you're doing for the Southeast Gassers. I tell you what, I couldn't congratulate you anymore. Your hard work's paying off, and kind of scary because you got more adjustments to make. You got better ETs coming your way, I feel like.
I hope so. I really do, but I think it's there. But if I get it, great. If I don't, I'm still, like I said, having fun doing it. And if I can get Leslie to eat more ice cream, then we're all happier.
For sure.
I don't think you're going to have a problem getting Leslie to eat anything.
Steven says it's a 5-year waiting list.
Yeah.
To be on the poster.
Got to pay your dues. Got to pay your dues.
And he's the guy that does
I think I am.
Work on them. Spectacular work.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
great job, Barry. Great job, Barry. We congratulate you, and it's going to be interesting to see how you shake up these points and even not making the last race. It's going to be intriguing to watch.
Or maybe I'll just come to the line and just stand there at Shady Side and just break the beams.
You have to be in a car.
I can do that. I can do that for you.
Some car, not saying the Iron Eagle.
I don't have anything. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Let's see where the points are. If I wanted that.
See.
Look at him. He's starting to rub the old chin a little bit.
Got him thinking.
He's rubbing the old chin.
Yep.
Jesse Adler, this could prove some logistical nightmares for you.
I give
Yes,
her
it could.
nightmares
It could.
all day, every day. She knows all about it.
Yes. Barry, man, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time. Folks, check out QuickTime Performance. We'll hear another word concerning Barry's company in just a few moments. Barry, again, thank you.
Be good, guys. Keep it loud.
Thank you, brother. Yes, sir.
Will do. Well, as we let Barry go, we'll switch gears. Again, the official 4-speed transmission for the Southeast Gases Association is G-Force Transmissions. If you are looking for a transmission in your racing application and also for the street, G-Force Racing Transmissions, and in particular, G-Force South, Roby Meyer, he can hook you up. We got to get Roby on the show here soon and chat with him and all the great stuff that he does for the Southeast Gases Association and beyond in the world of motorsports. Look, this word from QuickTime Performance, and, well, that car sounded like a gasser, even if it's on the street right now, then we'll talk SEGA.
Love the sound of a gasser banging through the gears as it makes a pass? Do you want that same feeling in your street car or truck? We've got the exhaust systems and parts that bring that iconic rumble straight from the golden age of drag racing. With a QuickTime Performance electronically controlled exhaust system, you can have race car loud with the flip of a switch or a push of a button. Give your ride that gasser sound it deserves.
And we are back here on SEGA Live as we come back here just to yak it up concerning the Southeast Gases Association. You dive into the comment section. And by the way, hit the like button and hit the share button. We're glad to have you along for the ride. We just got done talking with Barry Adler, the most recent winner in the AGAS category there at the Southern Nationals at Brainerd Motorsports Park, presented by Harbin's Mechanical Services. Remember, folks, Harbin's Mechanical Services serving Metro Atlanta. They are hiring. So if you want to get into the HVAC world or have experience, check out Harbin's Mechanical Services. Very well might be your next career opportunity. Well, speaking of opportunities, we have, as SEGA, the great opportunity to go to a new racetrack for the first time ever. The next event, in a couple of weekends, Jackson Dragway in Jackson, Tennessee. It's exciting.
Exciting to say the least. You know, everybody's going to be on a fresh racetrack that they've probably never been on before. Maybe a couple of our guys who live up that way, but maybe a great equalizer, this racetrack, trying to figure it out and who's going to be able to get their car to the finish line first.
Yeah, for sure. That newness is always something that brings a level playing field. Everybody's trying to figure it out. Everybody's trying to tune accordingly, and it will bring some interesting matchups, and will bring some interesting wins and losses as well, with the whole thing of it being a new venue for everyone.
You're absolutely right. There's no notebook on this facility, on this track. I'm sure people are going to be checking the track. They're going to be checking their weather stations, all the modern technology that you can use, but you can't necessarily take it directly to the track with these classic cars trying to mimic and revive and imitate what was going on in the mid-'60s. People are going to be putting everything they can to it to try to figure out what Jackson Dragway is similar to and who may very well come out on top. So no telling who's going to come away with wins at this track. I do think that in this scenario, it seems to be the top competitors come out on just that, top, because they're able to figure things out mostly on the fly and the wealth of knowledge that they have. I think this is going to be a race where if you've got like Brian Harris in your corner, he's definitely a great cornerman to have for this event.
Yeah, and don't forget about Bob Zabo with Fuel Curve Performance there, and we call him Carburetor Bob. That's going to play a big role as well with, Barry even mentioned it, with their weather stations. A lot of these guys, when we started Southeast Gassers, they were just looking on their phones for the barometric pressure, the density altitude, and things of that nature. to tune these carburetors by and to get optimal performance. But now you're finding guys that are investing the money, or either their newer trailers are coming equipped with a weather station, and everything that it has to offer.
Yeah, that stuff's important, man. It really has, changes the game a little bit when you can have that stuff at your fingertips. And I love the fact that you get these types of races. It can bring out the best in some folks, especially when it comes down to tuning and getting a hold of it quickly. That's really the key to it all here with new racetracks, is just getting a hold of what you need to do as fast as you can, and you're not coming into race day still trying to figure it out. If you're coming into race day still trying to figure it out, it may not be a good outing for you in eliminations.
So for you all that are wondering where Jackson, Tennessee is, we're all familiar in the world of SEGA with Knoxville, Tennessee. We make 2 annual trips up there currently in Southeast Gases Association drag racing. Jackson, Tennessee is located in between Nashville and Memphis. And in its own right, Jackson, Tennessee is a quaint, small town with some growth around it. You can find just about anything you're going to need to find there in Jackson, Tennessee, in between Memphis and Nashville. But I highly recommend to the fans and the people working in SEGA and to the racers of the Southeast Gases Association, you're heading out that way, take the time and make a trip of it. If you've been down to Bill Street, Memphis, or Graceland, well, go check that out. If you've never been down Broadway in Nashville and maybe experience the Grand Ole Opry or something of that, make a trip of it. This is a great destination and new track for us to go to in between some destination places in the great state of Tennessee. So when we get to Jackson Dragway, look, maybe work it out and plan a little bit more and make your destination of Jackson Dragway even more memorable, even beyond Southeast Gases Association Dragway, SEGA drag racing. And, well, make it memorable.
Yeah, that would be, it's always nice to take advantage of those really nice, quaint towns that have a lot of history. I didn't know much about it, but it sure is like, it is in such a odd spot if you're coming from my neck of the woods. Like, you have no choice but to go around and take 22 and come up, or you go all the way up 75 and go to Nashville and then loop around and come back to it. There's like no straight shot for this thing unless you're going to fly there.
Well, Stephen Smith's going to probably be rocking his blue suede shoes up there because it's the birthplace of Carl Perkins, So that might be what he's going to be wearing up there. You have to check out Stephen Smith and all the Southeast Gasser gear. But the overhead aerials that I saw of the place, looks like you got plenty of paved parking for our competitors, and even fans alike. It looks like it's got good access to the drag strip. Of course, with an aerial, you can't really see elevation, but maybe even a good flat surface and not too hard on the walk around there.
I think we're going to a facility that is going to fit right in with Southeast Gases Association drag racing. And all thanks to Don Baskins. Don Baskins Trucking is presenting the show that is going to be there at Jackson Dragway. And Don Baskins has done a lot here recently. And overall, do not misunderstand me, but recently for drag racing, and in particular that area, purchasing Jackson Dragway, purchase another drag strip up the road. So Don Baskins, thank you. You are making an impact in Western Tennessee and motorsports. Thank you for doing that. And folks, you can learn more about Don on the YouTube channel. I believe it is with the track. Also, 1320 video was there with him and his immense car collection. So we're glad to be a part of what Don's doing with the Southeast Gases Association rolling into Jackson Dragway in 2 weekends.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. And it's cool to be a part of something like that. So Yeah, it's going to be a good time. It was always a good time when the gassers show up, and we know the action is going to be great. So, a lot of cool things going on as far as the points go. There's tight races there. So it's going to be intense, man. It's going to really be intense, and it's something that the fans definitely don't want to miss.
Yeah, once again, I mean, like we put up there earlier, the A-gas points just continue to be tighter and tighter, and this may be one of the tightest races we've had in several years for this championship. Again, going to be a big asterisk got to be put down there at Gulfport, Mississippi, when we go there for the double race. But and B-gas, we talked about Ken Rainwater maybe stretching it out just a little bit, but Ted McKee, Michael Oden. I know Oden's got a new clutch going in that car because that was something that plagued him at the last race there at Ringgold. So, you never know what's going to happen there. And, we can just go on and on.
Where is Briley Stott? Are we going to see him at this next race? Very surprised to not see him at Brainerd Motorsports Park.
Don't know. I don't recall seeing his name on the pre-entry list that was just put out. That could change. We've got time, of course, but knowing the young man is still 17 years old,
That's
maybe
right.
a school thing.
School.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's homeschooled, or what goes on there in their home, but it may be something. And who knows? They may just be playing their cards close to their vest and have something broken and waiting on parts. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting not to see him there at the Southern Nationals and being the player in that particular field of SEGA competition that he is. So hopefully we do see them back at Jackson Dragway. And Jackson Dragway is going to be apparently the debut of another AFXer in competition for the first time. Someone definitely no stranger to Southeast Gassers Association competition. That is Gordon Rundle is going to be out with Colossus. Looking forward to seeing that car hit the track.
Yeah, that one has been the one that I want to see all year in that AFX category, because watching Gordon in a B-gas, car, when he showed up, he was a contender to really shake things up. First time out, don't know. He may be shaking down some gremlins, don't know. But I know it'll be a beautifully engineered car. If it was anything like his other car that he ran in B-gas, I mean, it'll be a beautifully engineered car, well put together and safe. And there's a great shot of it right there as it's getting ready to go into the box. And it's going to be interesting to see that one.
Yeah, it's good. It's been a fun watch there with this class, and to add another car to it is, just makes it more interesting, but definitely has been a fun class to watch this year.
He fully intends to be there midday Friday. I chatted with him briefly today. He's working on some electrical issues concerning the firing, if you will, of this hot rod. But I've seen it in person and took some early photos of it before it was buttoned up to this point and ready to roll in the box and take down the road for drag racing action. And it is a beautiful machine. You can see some of those photos on the Southeast Gassers Association Facebook page. So be sure that you are following the Southeast Gassers Association Facebook page. Looking forward to seeing this car in action. And AFX is certainly growing. It's good to see. And I hope soon we are to that nice number of 8 cars in competition at an event, wherever the Southeast Gassers Association may roll into.
On the pre-entry list, I saw the in changing classes, some super stock. I think they got 8 already pre-registered in the super stock class, so that looks strong. So, and looking forward to seeing those guys compete out there at Jackson.
Yeah, it's going to be good competition. I'm just hoping, you continue to have people come in and kind of fill this thing out a little bit. And it really is exciting to see, like, all the classes are, and to see people continue to come in and make their debut. And hopefully we can get a chance to see them out there a little bit more for the rest of the year, and maybe for a year to come,
Well, David, off the show, you made note that we've got an important birthday. And I know everybody thinks all birthdays are important, and they are to you. But when it comes to sharing birthdays on the show, don't expect it regularly. But this is a special one. And David, someone that is a great but late, it is their birthday.
It is Mr. Gene Cromer, driver of the Moonlighter that we saw so many times here in the Southeast Gassers. There's a great picture of Gene. That's just how I interviewed him his first time down at Darlington, South Carolina. It was so hot down there. But what a man who helped set the Southeast Gassers to popularity. He used his professional racing and pedigree and his love of the history of this sport to help us. And what a great shot right there from Knoxville, Tennessee. Gene with the wheels up in that beautiful Moonlighter car from down in the Anderson, South Carolina area. What a wonderful Christian man as well, an example to every father, husband that could walk the face of this earth. I just can't say enough about Gene. And I know your family and your father was very close to him as well, Lee.
Absolutely. And, Dad was his crew chief, Melvin Kraft, back in the day. And it was cool to see them be able to do it again before both of their passings. And what a journey to see the Moonlighter be restored. I can remember walking into Gene's machine shop as a kid, and it was just piled up in a corner, like the cab, if you will, the hood on top of it, and the chassis, everything was in shambles. And for Quayne and the work that he did and the team to bring it back to life and it be a part of the Southeast Gassers Association story from then to even now, and the connection and the success, beautiful thing. And glad that Dad was able to experience that. And yes, completely a role model and a man that was able to persevere in so many ways. One story from my dad that stands out is Gene suffered several strokes back to back, and yet he worked through that, didn't let it stop him per se, and got back to, I remember as a kid, not looking at a man that suffered through multiple strokes back to back. So hardworking, family man that persevered, and in so many ways, as you said eloquently, David, was a role model. So happy birthday. And to the Cromers, we're thinking of Gene right here on SEGA Live. And definitely great to take the time and mention him. And thank you for bringing that up, David.
You're very welcome. We wouldn't be where we are without his legacy as an association. And maybe one day we can have the Moonlighter displayed at one of our shows, one of our races, because it's definitely a beautiful timepiece.
That would be cool to see. And, at Brainerd, I'm not familiar with the car. It's the first time I had seen it, David. Obviously not the Pittman and Sword Willis, beautiful red car. Then there was a blue Willis as well, and not quite the same color as the Moonlighter, but nonetheless, I saw those two, and I'm like, wow, I could kind of imagine and envision Fred Hurst and Gene Cromer going at it at some track in the Southeast like they did match racing, and the stories I was able to hear from my dad. And that's the beautiful thing about SEGA. People are able to live out again something they experienced as a child, or someone as me. I'm 37 years old. I wasn't around in the 60s. I wouldn't even thought of in the 60s, but my dad was there with Gene, and I heard stories. And through something like SEGA, I'm able to see a reenactment and kind of get a sense of what it was like in 1965, Fred Hurst and Gene Cromer match racing. And just that little bit of nostalgia and slicing a bit of my dad's story and being able to connect with it, that's worth it. And it's worth it to a lot of people just in that way.
Yeah.
And to hear you talk about it with such passion, because you were so close to the family, it is just another testament to the great man and the great legend that he left, Mr. Gene Cromer. Happy birthday in heaven.
Well, thank you, Gene. And we also got to say, again, thank you to Roby. Roby, I think we'll close with this, a great comment. And he brings it up, the G-Force man himself, that there has been a gasser in shop every day this week. So guys and gals coming with some changes to their trans, watch out at Jacksonville. So, look, that's something, the break we had, though we didn't want it, I feel like a lot of people sharpened their stuff, and we saw that evident at Brainerd Motorsports Park, and we're going to see it again with words like that from Roby at Jackson Dragway. It is going to be, yet again, another stellar show, and you need to be there. But if you can't, you'll be able to watch it live on the Southeast Gassers Association YouTube channel, so make sure you are subscribed. Well, folks,
Yeah, can't wait for this one. This is going to be great when I'm going to be back behind the mic and bringing you all the action on the live feed. So really excited about that. I may be like a kid at Christmas again.
Well, folks, we thank you for joining us on SEGA Live here for this installment. We'll be back next week to look ahead into the race at Jackson Dragway once again. And I got to reach out to Charlie Lee. We need to get him on. We need to talk to him about his big win in B-Gas and what he's done with that hot rod, and get his story right here on SEGA Live. To each and every one of you watching, thank you. We appreciate you tuning in. As you go out, hit the like button, hit the share button. The man up top next to me, Mr. Dujanay Bland, and down below is the voice of the Southeast Gassers, David Lancaster. Folks, thank you for watching. Until next time, God bless. Keep the pedal to the metal.